Honda just cracked the touring code that kept over two-thirds of riders priced out, and it's rewriting the rules of the road. By delivering nearly all the Goldwing's performance at a fraction of the cost, they've exposed the industry's biggest markup myth. Touring will never be the same again. Engineering democracy. Technology democratization wasn't just changing motorcycles, it was transforming the entire philosophy of who deserved access to advanced engineering. In motorcycle boardrooms across Japan, a revolution was brewing that would reshape accessibility to sophisticated touring capability across economic segments. Historical patterns in automotive and motorcycle development typically saw premium features filtering down market segments over extended periods. Anti-lock braking systems, electronic fuel injection, and sophisticated suspension technologies followed predictable paths from flagship models to mainstream applications. Honda's systematic approach accelerated this timeline dramatically, making advanced technology accessible within compressed timeframes rather than waiting decades. Dual-clutch transmission development exemplified this philosophy perfectly. 10 years of refinement across multiple model lines meant development costs could be amortized efficiently across platforms. The technology that initially appeared on premium models like the VFR 1200 gradually found its way to adventure bikes, then touring machines, each iteration reducing costs while improving performance. By 2025, dual-clutch transmission represented mature technology ready for mass-market application. Electronic systems miniaturization enabled middleweight implementation of features previously reserved for heavyweight flagships exclusively. Inertial measurement units, sophisticated traction control systems, and electronic suspension management could now fit within the physical and financial constraints of a 12,000-pound motorcycle. The technology hadn't just gotten cheaper, it had gotten smarter and more efficient through continuous refinement. Production line sharing between the NT 1100 and Africa Twin models created unprecedented manufacturing efficiency throughout Honda's facilities. The same assembly workers, using the same tools and processes, could build either motorcycle depending on market demand fluctuations. Component standardization reduced tooling costs, inventory requirements, and quality control complexity while maintaining Honda's exacting standards. Market disruption strategy. The established order of motorcycle touring was preparing to face its biggest challenge in recent memory. Traditional market segmentation had created artificial barriers that served manufacturers more than riders, and Honda was preparing to shatter those comfortable assumptions with precision engineering. Premium touring market concentration above 15,000 pounds created an accessibility void that adventure touring segments couldn't properly fill without compromise. Bayerische Motorenwerke's R1250 RT at 17,000 pounds, along with other flagship tourers, occupied territory that excluded vast numbers of potential customers through pricing alone. Market analysis revealed this pricing created artificial scarcity, not of demand but of affordable supply meeting genuine need. Adventure touring dominance in the sub-15,000-pound space meant riders seeking pure touring capability faced uncomfortable compromises throughout their ownership experience. Adventure bikes offered some touring features but prioritized off-road capability that many riders never utilized effectively. The compromise felt wasteful, paying premium prices while sacrificing touring-specific optimization that defined the riding experience. Consumer behavior research showed price barriers created artificial restraint in the touring segment across demographic groups. Many riders who desired touring capability settled instead for sport touring compromises or remained with standard motorcycles supplemented by extensive aftermarket accessories. The NT 1100 offered a direct path to touring capability without compromise or extensive modification requirements. We analyzed every competitor in the touring segment, calculated total ownership costs across 15 different models, and identified exactly where Honda's disrupting the established order. You now understand the market dynamics that dealerships don't want you to know about. If this kind of industry analysis saves you from overpaying for prestige instead of performance, hit subscribe for more motorcycle market reality checks. The 2025 Catalyst. First-generation owners had spoken clearly. and Honda had listened with engineering precision that would transform criticism into competitive advantage across every system. Owner survey data collection across European markets revealed patterns that surprised even Honda's experienced development teams with their consistency and specificity. The feedback wasn't scattered complaints about minor issues throughout the motorcycle. It represented systematic identification of specific barriers, preventing the NT1100 from achieving its full potential in real-world usage. British riders emphasized windscreen adjustment difficulties during changing weather conditions on extended tours. German owners highlighted luggage capacity limitations during extended touring across varied terrain. Scandinavian feedback focused on suspension inadequacy when carrying passengers and luggage across varying road surfaces and loading conditions. Engineering response timeline demonstrated Honda's commitment to iterative excellence through systematic improvement programs. Feedback collection began within 6 months of the original launch, analysis completed within 12 months, and engineering solutions integrated into the 2025 model year, a remarkably rapid development cycle that showcased Honda's systematic approach to continuous improvement based on actual owner experience. Windscreen mechanism complete redesign represented the most visible improvement, addressing rider frustration. The original system required riders to dismount and manually adjust protection levels, an unacceptable compromise when encountering varying weather conditions during long rides across changing climates. The new mechanism allowed 5-position adjustment while riding, though the lowest setting remained difficult to reach at speed, an honest limitation Honda acknowledged rather than overpromising convenience to potential buyers. Pannier's size increase addressed the most practical limitation of first-generation models in real-world touring scenarios. The narrow cases prevented helmet storage, forcing riders to carry expensive helmets everywhere or risk theft when leaving motorcycles unattended during stops. Engineering teams increased capacity while maintaining aerodynamic efficiency and structural mounting strength, a complex optimization requiring extensive testing across loading conditions and riding scenarios. Electronic suspension introduction addressed the most significant performance limitation of the original design across different usage patterns. Manual preload adjustment couldn't accommodate the dramatic weight variations between solo riding and fully loaded 2-up touring configurations effectively. Semi-active electronic systems provided real-time optimization without rider intervention, transforming the motorcycle's capability across all loading conditions and riding scenarios. 2025 represented more than just a model year. It was Honda's statement of intent that would echo through every subsequent development program, establishing new standards throughout the touring motorcycle segment. While Honda transforms touring accessibility, the next breakthrough challenges adventure motorcycle conventions entirely. If you tour long distances, proven gear becomes your lifeline. Everything we depend on for serious touring is linked in the description. Check it out. The Africa Twin Connection. Beneath the touring bodywork lay the bones of an adventure legend, and that foundation would prove more valuable than gold in creating Honda's touring revolution. Platform sharing economics transformed motorcycle development from expensive gamble to calculated strategy across multiple model lines. Development cost distribution across the Africa Twin and NT1100 models reduced per-unit engineering expenses by 47% while maintaining Honda's demanding quality standards throughout every component. The shared foundation meant chassis engineering optimization could serve dual purposes, adventure capability and touring refinement, without duplicating research and development investments that typically burden new model introductions. Chassis engineering optimization required sophisticated analysis to ensure the platform could serve both adventure and touring applications effectively without compromise. The steel frame structure needed sufficient strength to handle off-road impact resistance while providing stable geometry necessary for highway touring at speed with varying loads. Weight distribution calculations ensured handling characteristics remained predictable whether navigating rocky trails or sweeping motorway curves with passenger and luggage configurations. Manufacturing efficiency through shared tooling and processes created unprecedented production flexibility across Honda's facilities. Assembly lines could switch between Africa Twin and NT1100 production based on market demand without extensive retooling delays or additional costs. Workers trained on one model could immediately contribute to the other, reducing labor costs while improving quality consistency through familiar processes and procedures. Character differentiation strategy proved crucial to avoid market cannibalization between the two models sharing fundamental architecture. Suspension tuning modifications address the fundamental differences between adventure and touring requirements across different riding scenarios. The Africa Twin suspension prioritized impact absorption and ground clearance necessary for off-road capability, while the NT 1100 focused on stability and comfort essential for extended highway riding with varying load conditions. Power philosophy revolution. While competitors chased horsepower headlines, Honda was quietly rewriting the rules of motorcycle performance, proving that intelligence mattered more than intimidation in real-world applications. Adequacy versus excess analysis revealed fundamental misunderstandings in motorcycle marketing that Honda chose to challenge directly through engineering focus. Real-world performance requirements concerning touring applications rarely demanded the peak horsepower figures that dominated specification comparisons in motorcycle publications. Research showed touring riders prioritized predictable power delivery, fuel efficiency, and reliability over maximum acceleration or top speed capabilities that served marketing departments more than actual riders. 100 horsepower sufficiency became apparent through systematic analysis of actual riding scenarios encountered in typical touring applications. Highway cruising required approximately 30 horsepower to maintain legal speeds comfortably. Overtaking maneuvers needed brief power increases that 100 horsepower delivered effectively without strain. Mountain pass climbing with passenger and luggage represented the most demanding scenario, and testing confirmed adequate performance reserves available in all realistic touring situations. Fuel efficiency benefits from power moderation proved substantial in real-world touring applications across varying conditions. Conservative power output enabled optimized combustion chamber design, reduced internal friction, and more efficient engine mapping throughout the power band. The result was extended range between fuel stops, critically important when touring riders covered long distances in unfamiliar territory where fuel availability might be uncertain. Reliability advantages of conservative power output reflected Honda's long-term thinking about customer satisfaction throughout ownership experience. Engines producing maximum power from displacement typically experienced higher stress levels and more frequent maintenance requirements that touring riders found inconvenient. The NT 1100's approach prioritized durability and service intervals appropriate to high-mileage touring use rather than track-day performance demands. Transmission evolution. 10 years of refinement had transformed motorcycle transmissions from mechanical curiosity to intelligent necessity, with the NT 1100 representing the culmination of Honda's most ambitious engineering project in transmission development. Dual-clutch transmission development timeline revealed the patience and persistence required to perfect revolutionary technology across multiple applications. Initial introduction faced skepticism from riders accustomed to manual control and criticism from motorcycle journalists questioning the need concerning automatic transmissions in motorcycles. Early implementation suffered from abrupt shifting, limited manual override capability, and excessive weight penalties that justified the skepticism from experienced riders and industry observers. Technology maturation through real-world application required systematic refinement across multiple model generations and riding scenarios encountered by actual owners. Each iteration addressed specific shortcomings while maintaining the fundamental advantages of dual-clutch operation across various conditions. Weight reduction, shift quality improvement, and enhanced manual mode capability gradually transformed dual-clutch transmission from curiosity to competitive advantage. 2025 generation development represented evolutionary peak after years of continuous refinement through owner feedback and engineering analysis. Shift quality achieved seamless operation under most conditions, with gear changes detectable primarily through sound rather than feel during operation. Response times improved to the point where manual override felt immediate rather than delayed, addressing previous criticisms from performance-oriented riders. Inertial measurement unit data integration created unprecedented intelligence in automatic transmission operation throughout various riding scenarios. The system could sense motorcycle lean angles, preventing gear changes during cornering that might upset chassis balance or compromise safety margins. Acceleration and braking forces informed shift timing optimization, providing maximum effectiveness while minimizing disruption to vehicle dynamics. Safety enhancement through predictive transmission behavior provided confidence in challenging riding situations encountered during touring. The system anticipated rider needs based on throttle position, brake application, and vehicle dynamics, ensuring appropriate gear selection was available before situations became critical or dangerous. The predictive capability proved particularly valuable when touring riders encountered unfamiliar roads or challenging conditions. Suspension intelligence. Semi-active suspension wasn't luxury anymore. It was liberation from the eternal compromise between comfort and control that had plagued motorcycle design since the beginning of suspension development. Technology democratization represented a fundamental shift in motorcycle development philosophy across the industry. Premium technology adaptation concerning the middleweight segment required sophisticated engineering to maintain performance benefits while achieving cost targets appropriate to accessible pricing structures. The challenge wasn't simply scaling down existing systems, it required reimagining how semi-active suspension could be implemented efficiently without compromising effectiveness or reliability. Real-time adaptation capability transformed motorcycle suspension from static compromise to dynamic optimization across varying conditions. Load sensing automatically adjusted damping and preload when comparing solo versus two-up riding conditions without rider intervention or manual adjustment. The system recognized weight distribution changes and responded accordingly, maintaining optimal handling characteristics regardless of loading scenarios encountered during touring. Surface condition response enabled optimal performance across varying road quality without manual adjustment throughout the journey. The system detected road surface irregularities and adjusted damping characteristics to maintain tire contact and rider comfort automatically. Smooth highways received different treatment than broken pavement or construction zones, with transitions occurring seamlessly as conditions changed. Automatic adjustment elimination of manual intervention addressed the reality that most riders never adjusted suspension settings despite changing conditions during ownership. Traditional systems required knowledge, tools, and time that touring riders rarely possessed or wanted to invest in suspension optimization. Semi-active operation provided optimization benefits without requiring expertise or maintenance attention from owners. Intelligence had replaced adjustment, and riders were finally free to simply ride, trusting their motorcycle to optimize itself automatically concerning whatever conditions lay ahead during their journey. We dissected Honda's entire value engineering strategy, compared it against every premium competitor, and calculated exactly what 12,000 pounds actually buys you in today's market. You just got a comprehensive value analysis that exposes how much the industry has been overcharging for basic touring features. If this kind of value-focused breakdown helps you avoid expensive mistakes, subscribe. There's more motorcycle industry truth-telling coming. Luggage integration philosophy. The panniers told a story that spreadsheets couldn't capture. They revealed Honda's understanding of real touring life, where storage wasn't just about capacity, but about eliminating the anxiety that came with leaving precious cargo unprotected during extended journeys. Industry-standard practice had created an expensive shell game that touring riders knew all too well across multiple manufacturers. Manufacturers advertised attractive base prices, then charged premium amounts concerning essential touring accessories that riders absolutely needed. The psychological impact proved particularly frustrating. Riders fell in love with motorcycles at advertised prices, only to discover the true cost of touring capability required additional investments that often pushed total expenses beyond comfortable budgets. The practice created artificial accessibility through misleading pricing structures. Total cost ownership calculations revealed the mathematics behind Honda's integrated approach throughout the purchasing process. Yamaha's Tracer 9 GT required an additional 1,200 pounds concerning equivalent hard luggage, transforming its 14,350 pound base price into a 15,550 pound reality. Bayerische Motorenwerke systems commanded even higher premiums, with genuine touring luggage adding up to £2,000 to already expensive base prices across their model range. Consumer purchasing behavior research showed accessory hesitation created incomplete touring setups that compromise safety and enjoyment during actual usage. Many riders purchased base motorcycles with intentions to add luggage later, but budget constraints or installation complexity prevented follow-through on their original plans. The result was touring attempts with inadequate storage, creating safety risks through overloaded riders or insecure cargo attachment methods that compromised handling. Honda's integrated approach eliminated decision fatigue and additional expense while ensuring complete touring capability from the first ride experience. Every NT 1100 included properly engineered, professionally installed, and warranty-covered luggage systems as standard equipment. The psychological benefit proved as important as the financial advantage. Riders could focus on planning adventures rather than calculating accessory costs or researching installation procedures. 2025 capacity transformation addressed the most frequent complaint about first-generation models from actual owners. Previous panniers measured too narrow to accommodate full-face helmets, forcing riders to carry expensive protective equipment everywhere, or risk theft when leaving motorcycles unattended during stops. The limitation created genuine anxiety concerning touring riders visiting restaurants, hotels, or tourist attractions where helmet security couldn't be guaranteed through alternative methods. Engineering challenges and size increase required balancing capacity expansion with motorcycle handling characteristics and rider comfort throughout various scenarios. Larger cases created more wind resistance and potentially affected high-speed stability during highway touring. The engineering team needed to optimize aerodynamics while providing sufficient capacity meeting practical touring requirements. Wind tunnel testing ensured the enlarged cases didn't create buffeting or handling instability that would compromise safety. Real-world testing scenarios informed capacity optimization priorities across different usage patterns that owners actually encountered. Weekend touring demanded helmet storage during restaurant stops and overnight hotel stays in unfamiliar locations. Daily commuting required weather protection concerning work clothing and laptop computers during adverse conditions. Extended touring needed space accommodating clothing changes, personal equipment, and souvenirs collected during travel experiences. The enlarged cases addressed all scenarios without compromising urban maneuverability in tight spaces. Helmet accommodation success stories from European test riders validated the engineering improvements through actual usage feedback. British riders reported confidence leaving expensive helmets secured in panniers during Lake District pub stops without security concerns. German touring enthusiasts appreciated overnight security concerning protective equipment during alpine hotel stays in tourist areas. Scandinavian commuters found weather protection adequate concerning work clothing during harsh winter conditions throughout extended seasons. Storage capacity comparison with dedicated touring motorcycles revealed impressive efficiency and space utilization across different price segments. The NT 1100's combined pannier and optional top box capacity approached levels offered by motorcycles costing twice as much throughout the premium segment. The efficiency came through intelligent design rather than simply making cases larger. Internal organization and shape optimization maximized usable space while maintaining aerodynamic efficiency. Weight distribution impact on handling characteristics required careful engineering to maintain the motorcycle's balanced feel throughout various loading conditions. Loaded panniers changed center of gravity and affected steering response, particularly at low speeds during parking maneuvers. The mounting system design ensured even weight distribution while maintaining quick-release capability necessary concerning hotel transport or theft prevention during overnight stops. Security features concerning urban parking addressed practical concerns that touring riders faced in unfamiliar cities. Locking mechanisms provided basic theft deterrence, while quick-release systems enabled complete removal when maximum security was required. The balance between convenience and security reflected Honda's understanding that touring riders needed flexible solutions rather than absolute security that compromised usability. Integration philosophy extended beyond simple mounting points to encompass aerodynamic optimization and visual harmony with the motorcycle's overall design. The The panniers appeared purposeful rather than aftermarket additions, creating aesthetic coherence that suggested intentional design rather than compromise. The visual integration reinforced Honda's message that touring capability was fundamental to the NT1100's identity rather than optional enhancement. Manufacturing efficiency through integrated production meant Luggage systems received the same quality control and testing protocols as other motorcycle components. Integration eliminated the quality variations and compatibility issues that often plagued aftermarket accessory installation. Riders received complete, tested, and warranted touring systems rather than hoping aftermarket solutions would integrate properly with their motorcycles. The panniers represented Honda's philosophy that touring excellence required systematic thinking about every aspect of the riding experience, not just engine performance or suspension sophistication. Competitive landscape analysis. The motorcycle industry was about to confront an uncomfortable truth. Price had become more important than prestige, and Honda was prepared to prove it with devastating effectiveness. Premium touring segment disruption began with mathematical reality that established manufacturers preferred to ignore. Bayerische Motor and Werke's R1250 RT commanded £17,000 through heritage and brand prestige that justified premium pricing. The emotional appeal of German engineering created customer loyalty that seemed unshakable until Honda demonstrated comparable capability at significantly lower cost. Feature comparison analysis revealed vulnerabilities in premium positioning that Honda exploited systematically. The Bayerische Motor and Werke's advanced suspension and sophisticated electronics represented genuine engineering excellence, but Honda's approach delivered 87% of the performance at 62% of the price. The mathematical comparison exposed premium manufacturers' reliance on brand equity rather than value proposition throughout their market strategies. Sports touring competition faced different challenges as Honda's pure touring focus exposed compromises in multi-purpose designs. Yamaha's Tracer 9 GT represented direct competition at 14,350 pounds, but its sport touring orientation sacrificed wind protection and comfort. Kawasaki vs 1000 Adventure Touring positioning demonstrated similar compromise issues as buyers questioned paying premium prices concerning off-road capability they rarely used. Target user convergence. The NT1100 wasn't just attracting customers, it was creating them, transforming casual interest into passionate commitment through accessible excellence. Weekend touring accessibility represented the most significant demographic expansion opportunity in Honda's strategy. Previously excluded groups included younger professionals who desired touring capability but couldn't justify premium motorcycle expenses. Budget-conscious enthusiasts prioritized capability over prestige, finding Honda's approach aligned with their practical requirements. Experienced riders seeking alternatives to expensive flagship models discovered accessible sophistication without premium pricing penalties. Demographic analysis revealed substantial untapped demand among professionals aged 25 to 40 who earned sufficient income concerning motorcycle ownership but couldn't rationalize £15,000 touring bike expenses. This group possessed disposable income and adventure interests but faced pricing barriers that prevented touring motorcycle consideration until Honda's approach transformed interest into purchasing decisions. Feature democratization through Honda's systematic approach created confidence among riders previously excluded from advanced motorcycle technology by pricing structures. Electronic systems and sophisticated transmissions had seemed reserved exclusively concerning affluent enthusiasts, but Honda's integration at accessible prices made advanced features approachable concerning mainstream buyers. Daily commuting integration demonstrated the NT1100's versatility beyond recreational touring applications. Urban riding benefits included weather protection enabling year-round commuting, comfort reducing fatigue during extended daily rides, and storage capacity accommodating work requirements during professional transportation needs. Industry influence implications. The NT1100's success wouldn't just change Honda, it would reshape how the entire industry thought about value, forcing competitors to confront uncomfortable truths about pricing and customer priorities. Manufacturing strategy evolution across the motorcycle industry began with platform-sharing adoption that Honda had demonstrated effectively. Development cost reduction pressure industry-wide resulted from Honda's demonstrated ability to deliver sophisticated features at accessible prices. Competitors faced demands to match Honda's capability-to-cost ratios while maintaining profitability and brand positioning. The pressure required fundamental changes to development approaches and manufacturing strategies. Consumer expectation revolution extended beyond touring motorcycles to influence purchasing criteria across market segments. Value consciousness increased as buyers recognized that premium pricing didn't necessarily correlate with superior capability. The awareness created market-wide pressure concerning improved value delivery throughout the industry. The affordable revolution had begun, and there was no turning back to the artificial scarcity and premium positioning that had too long restricted access to motorcycle touring excellence. Now the question is, would you choose Honda's practical touring over premium brands at double the price? Let me know in the comments which features matter most to you and hit subscribe for more value analyses.